Welcome to the start of a new series, F1 Friday. In this series, we'll take a look at all things F1, from the driver lineup for next season, to engine allocation for the drivers, to rookie drivers and their progression throughout the Junior Formula Series. Without further ado, let's begin. Firstly, the 2020 driver lineup. RB have confirmed Yuki to their team next year. However, the other driver is still not yet confirmed. Possible options could be Liam Lawson or Daniel Ricciardo, among others. Kick Sauber, soon to become Audi, have signed Nico Hülkenberg to their team starting 2025. Current drivers Valtteri and Zhou have not confirmed a drive for next year. However, it is believed that neither of them will take up the remaining seat. Haas recently confirmed Oliver Bearman to take up one of the seats, stepping up from F2 into F1. He was able to show off his skills in F1 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah, where the Ferrari driver of Carlos Sainz fell ill and was forced to sit out the weekend, and the reserve driver Oliver Bearman took his place, going P7, and as things stand, before Spa, he is 14th out of 21 in the World Drivers' Championship from that race alone. Just yesterday, Haas confirmed Esteban Ocon to be replacing Kevin Magnussen on a multi-year deal. Williams have confirmed Alex Albon to be continuing with the team until at least the end of 2026. However, teammate Logan Sargent has not signed the contract yet, and we are not sure where he will go next, or if he will even stay in F1 at all. Alpine confirmed Gasly to be continuing with the team at least until 2026. However, the other seat is yet to be occupied. One of the options is Jack Doohan, but more on him later. McLaren confirmed their driver lineup of Lando and Oscar a while ago. Nothing new there. Aston Martin also confirmed their driver lineup of Alonso and Stroll. Again, nothing new. Ferrari announced that Lewis Hamilton will join the team at the start of 2024, replacing Carlos Sainz from 2025 onwards, with Charles Leclerc staying as well. Mercedes only have one driver confirmed so far, George Russell. His teammate is not confirmed yet. However, it will likely be a junior driver, such as Mick Schumacher. More on younger drivers for Mercedes later. Red Bull have confirmed their driver lineup, with Max going until the end of 2028 on his current contract, and Perez going until the end of 2026 on his current contract. Engine allocation is quite an interesting topic at the moment. Each season of F1, drivers are offered the following for the engine: 4 internal combustion engines, 4 turbochargers, 4 motor generator unit, heat, 4 motor generator unit, kinetic 2, energy stores, 2 control electronics, 8 engine exhausts, 5 gearbox cases and cassettes, 5 gearbox driveline, gear, change components and auxiliary components. If a driver goes over the limit for components, such as taking a 5th internal combustion engine, they will be given a grid penalty. 4 drivers currently have exceeded the maximum for at least one component. Those are Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Sergio Perez Bottas has used an extra energy store and control electronics, and therefore has an outstanding 15-place grid penalty to serve. However, when a grid penalty is of 15 places or higher, the driver is required to start from the back of the grid anyway. Alex Albon has done the same as Bottas, using an extra energy store and control electronics. He served his grid penalty in Spain starting from the pits. Pierre Gasly has used much more than his allocation, taking up an extra internal combustion engine, turbocharger, motor generator unit, heat motor generator unit, kinetic control electronics. And he served his 30-place grid penalty at Silverstone. Sergio Perez has used up an extra internal combustion engine, energy store and control electronics, and therefore had a 20-place grid penalty that was served at the British GP when he started from the pits. 12 other drivers are at the limit for at least one of the engine components. Those drivers are listed below: Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, Logan Sargent, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hülkenberg. I will go over some details of those drivers that are worth knowing. However, if you wish to look at a driver that isn't mentioned there, I will leave a link in the description. Max Verstappen has used up all of his allotted of almost all components, except the exhaust system and both gearbox systems. He will take the grid penalty this Sunday at Spa. Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda are in very similar situations to Max, only difference being they have used one less exhaust system and one less of both gearbox parts. However, they are on their last component for everything else. As mentioned, check the description for info on what drivers have used, what components, and how many they have left. Now back to the drivers for next season. Here's what F2 and F3 brings to the scene. RB is part of the Red Bull Junior program and therefore has plenty of options for 2025. Tim Tramnitz and Oliver Giotto are both F3 drivers that are eligible to join F1. However, there are also two F2 drivers that are more likely to join, Isaac Hajar and Pepe Marti, both of which are eligible for F1. However, it is difficult to tell if they will keep Ricciardo or move on to a rookie. Kick Sauber, who have only confirmed one of two seats so far, have a driver academy, which has 2023 F2 champion and current F2 driver Theo Pourchaire and Zane Maloney, respectively. Pourchaire is the most likely to fill the seat at Kick Sauber, since Maloney is still in F2 and currently fourth in the championship. Williams also have a driver academy, which has 8 drivers as of now, 5 of which are eligible to join F1. I will leave a link in the description to a website where you can find these drivers. However, some of the notable ones are Zach O'Sullivan, Franco Colapinto, Luke Browning. Zach and Franco are both in F2. Luke Browning is in F3. However, all of them meet the requirements to join F1, and so could easily fill up the spare seat. Since Williams do not have a reserve driver, it is anyone's guess who goes in the spare seat next year. Alpine also have a driver academy, which consists of 8 drivers across various Formula Series. The most likely to fill the spare seat next season are Jack Doohan and Victor Martins, both of which are currently racing in F2. Jack Doohan is the reserve driver for Alpine, meaning if nobody else can race, he will. Check the description for a link to the Alpine Academy page where you can see all drivers that could join F1 next season. Mercedes have a junior team, which consists of Kimi Antonelli, Paul Aron, Frederick Vesti, among other drivers. These are young prospects which Mercedes wishes to help with the path to F1, and this does not include Mick Schumacher, who is the Mercedes reserve driver. I will leave a link for the Mercedes junior team in the description for you to see who else could be in F1 next year. And now to finish it off, here's some highlights from FP1 and FP2. In FP1, Max Verstappen was fastest. Perez finished in P7. Ocon was unable to participate in FP1 due to a water leak. Oscar was second fastest, with Lando in P8. Williams. Alex Albon managed P3. George Russell was P4, with Hamilton P5. Leclerc was in P6. Sainz and Stroll finished the top 10 in P9 and 10 respectively. Daniel Ricciardo span out at the start of the session, almost hitting the barrier. Yuki Tsunoda was also confirmed to be taking a grid penalty starting from the back on Sunday. And in FP2, Lando Norris was fastest, with Piastri 0.2 seconds behind. Oscar kicked up some gravel at turn 7. Verstappen was just 0.02 of a second behind Oscar. Perez finished in 9th. The Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz finished in P4 and 5 respectively. Russell was 6th, with Ocon behind him. In 7th, Magnussen was in 8th, ahead of Hamilton, who was in P10. The Astons finished in 11th and 12th, lead by Stroll, with Alonso just 6 thousandths behind Bottas. Ricciardo and Gasly were 13th, 14th, and 15th. The bottom 5 were as follows: Hülkenberg, Albon, Sargent, Zhou, and Tsunoda. Friday was interesting. It's uncertain who will be at the top step on Sunday, but that just means we can look forward to a very interesting race.